equals mathf dot round to int random dot value. Now this will give us a number between 0 and 1. Unfortunately, we need a byte, and it will actually complain if you don't cast that, because an int and a byte are not the same thing. So we'll just cast it. There we go. So you won't be able to tell, because if I go back here and hit play, nothing happens. I never remember which way it is with these. There we are. So here we are. If we hit play, there's no difference. All we've really done is define a map. We haven't actually used it. What we need to do is use it. Alright, now here is the heart of the matter. First off, we're going to do some best practices stuff. Require component type of mesh filter. This means that the brick in question requires you to have a mesh filter attached to it. Now we do have a mesh filter attached to it. It is right there. So that's because we're going to be building a mesh. So let's go ahead and create ourselves a mesh. Protected mesh. And then here we're going to say mesh equals new mesh. And then we're going to say, I guess we should say get component mesh filter, and we're guaranteed to have one because of that require component up at the top. Dot mesh equals mesh. How exciting! So if you want to see what we just did, we just broke the brick. It's not there anymore. So you can see that the brick is still here in scene edit view, and we're still using the box collider, so we can still stand on it, but there's no longer a mesh for it. Well, it's time to teach you how to assemble a mesh here in Unity. It's actually pretty straightforward. We're going to use a bit of a shortcut that is maybe not best practices, but it is decent enough for our purposes. So we're going to create protected list vector3 verts equals new. And this will be our list of vertexes, but a mesh is not made of vertexes alone. We also need protected list int triangles, and just to future-proof it a little bit, protected list vector2 UVs. So the verts are the pieces of our mesh, the triangles are how those pieces connect up, and the UVs are what part of the texture to display. So we're going to go ahead and create a new function which we will call regenerate. We'll put that down here. Oh, come on, you. Public void regenerate. So here is where we do our work. Verts.clear, tries.clear. This doesn't matter now because we're starting off with them clear, but if we ever want to make a change and then run this again, we're going to need to get rid of the old data. Also, Unity is a little bit picky. If you assign a new set of vertexes and your old set of triangles is applied, it's probably going to throw some errors. So go ahead and say mesh.triangles equals tries.toArray, and that will clear out all of our triangles because tries is now empty, and we've just set it to be an empty array. Alright, so now what we have to do is actually generate all of the faces we need. We're actually going to work on generating individual faces. Now I know some engines work on generating the framework and then connecting it up with faces using the triangles, but we're actually going to create 4 distinct vertexes for every single face, and that means that if you have a block that sticks up out of the ground, you're going to be wasting some faces, and you're also going to, you're going to be wasting faces regardless. You're going to be wasting vertexes regardless, but optimizing it at this point would be kind of annoying. So we'll do it by creating all of the faces. Every single face will have 4 vertexes. There will be no faces with shared vertexes. What am I talking about, you're asking? Shut up, you're making no sense. Alright, this is what I'm talking about. So let's go back up here. This looks familiar. Let's grab this crap. We need it down here. But in this case we also need Y. We might as well go ahead and make it so that it reads right. So what do we need to do? Alright, easy enough. Byte block equals map x, y, z. Woo! Exciting, right? Now, if block equals 0, continue. We don't need to create anything that doesn't exist. So if we get here, we need to probably create something, but maybe not. How do we know which faces to create? I don't know. Let's go ahead and create a new function to determine that. Public bool is transparent. Int x, int y, int, come on, z. I get a lot of slowdown using Cam Studio here. So, well, how do we do this is transparent stuff? If, let's put in some safety, x is less than 0, or y is less than 0, or z is less than 0, or x is greater than or equal to width, or y is greater than or equal to width, or z is greater than or equal to width. Return. Now you could either make this false or true. If you make it true, that means you're going to be drawing boundaries at the edge of every block. Otherwise, it means you're not. We're going to go ahead and make it true. So what we've just said is, if you're asking for something that's not on our map, we consider it to be transparent, i.e. not there. So then we say return block, map x, y, z equals 0. And that just says if it's 0, it's transparent, otherwise it's not. In the long run, we'll have to make that a lot more complicated, but for now, that'll work fine. So now we say if, let's go ahead and split this off into its own function too. Let's go function crazy. Draw brick, x, y, z, block. So we'll go ahead and put that. I tend to put shit in alphabetical order. So let's go ahead and put it here. Draw brick, int x, int y, int z, byte, block. Alright, so there are 6 possible faces we could be drawing. Let's go ahead and draw them. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to define vector 3 corner. We'll call this start equals new vector 3 x, y, z. We'll need these two for later. Now, let's go ahead and do some work. If is transparent x, y minus 1, z. So, if it's transparent above us, then we need to draw a face above us, right? Except in this case it's actually below us. But that's okay, either way it works fine. So since we're doing that, we'll do offset 1 equals, well, we need to do it, if it's at the top, we need to draw that face along the x-axis and the z-axis, because the y-axis is the one that we're offset by. So, there we go. This is the x-axis, this is the z-axis. So now we're going to make yet another function. I hope you haven't lost track yet. Brock. Yeah, let's go ahead and pass it to Brock. So, public void. Come on, you. It's like 100 degrees in here, sorry. If you're wondering why there's so much noise in the background, it's because it's 100 degrees in here. You may be wondering why I'm passing that block around. We'll need it for UV mapping. We probably won't even get there in this video. I'm certain we won't get there in this video. Alright, so if we need to draw a face, then what we need to actually do is create 4 new vector 3's. So, those vector 3's are verts.add start. Here they are, all 4 of them. Offset 1, offset 2, offset 1 plus offset 2. Ooh, so now we actually have the vertexes, but aren't we forgetting something? Like a face? Actually, this is actually a little bit... I do this because it's just a little bit easier to do it like this. So a face, these triangles are triangles that connect 3 vertexes. We have 4 vertexes, so we need 2 triangles. That means we need 6 integers. The way a triangle works is it lists the number of the vertex involved. So if we just started, this would be vertex 0, vertex 1, vertex 2, and vertex 3. So we need to go ahead and connect them, which would be something like this. Now I can never remember exactly which direction it is in my head, because if you do them in the wrong direction, they only show up pointing in the wrong way. Triangles are, they don't have a back face. So if you get them wrong, then you will end up with something that looks like cube. Oh, I can't show you yet. We'll probably end up with a very spotty. I'll show you in a minute. That was kind of silly of me. So regenerate. Remember this function here where we're doing all of the work? After we've drawn all of the bricks, we need to do mesh.vertexes equals verts.toArray. Mesh.triangles equals triangles.toArray. I forgot that part. Sorry about that. We also, for future-proofing, need to go ahead and recalculate those normals. We're gonna need them. Look at that. I think I guessed right. So, apparently that is the correct set of order for those triangles to be added in. I was going to show you what the heck. I'll go ahead and break it so I can show you. If we change the order here, like this, and hit play, then as you can see, we've got some faces that are visible from above and some that are visible from below, and that's kind of a pain in the ass. So make sure you get that right, or else you will feel foolish. Actually, yeah, that is right. So I just drew at the bottom, so believe it or not, this is kind of wrong. I'll show you why here. Go ahead and create. We want to do the top now, right? So let's go ahead and see how that looks. Oh, okay, let's pause. So I'm in scene view right now, and you can see that we've got 2 layers. We've got the lower layer and the upper layer. But wait a minute, we can see the lower layer from the top. It's not working out. That lower layer is pointed the wrong direction. We should only be able to see it from beneath. So what's wrong is that we've passed it vector3.right when we should in fact be passing it vector3.left. But if we do it like that and just like that, then we'll end up offset in the wrong direction. So we need to actually add vector3.right, like this. So in case I just lost you, what I've done is fallen off the map. What I've done here in scene view, so I haven't created any of the walls yet. I've only created the tops. So here you can see that it's a little bit difficult to see because of there not being any walls, but you've got 2 bricks on the bottom and then you've got 2 bricks above. That bottom layer is all filled in, but the top layer is spotty. Remember how we created it like that? So here we can see the parts where the top layer is being drawn. There's no face for the layer beneath it. See that? This brick does exist. This brick down here does exist, but you can't see the top face, so we don't bother to draw it. If we go down below, you can see that we have the entire bottom drawn out, because this is the bottom. There's nothing beneath it, so all of those faces need to be drawn. But wait, you may be asking. That's an awfully thin brick. You're right, that is too thin. We do in fact need to take this here and add. So now, when we fall off again, now in scene view, when we look at it, you can see that the bricks have a serious thickness to them. They are thick. Now let's go ahead and go and just fill in the other walls real quick here. So we do that by simply saying copy, paste, paste. Exciting. Delete x minus 1, delete x plus 1, delete z minus 1, delete z plus 1. Now the problem is we've got all this arranged for the y-axis, and we no longer need it for the y-axis. So here in the x-axis, for example, here we've got a left, but we're already to the left, so we can't go any further left or else we'd screw up the brick. This actually needs to be up because we need to draw the left wall up and back. This here needs to be down because we need to draw the right wall down. Actually, I believe that that's backwards. I need this to be down and this to be... we need this to be down and this to be up. And so here, where we've got this as right, we need it to be up. And here, where we've got this being up, we need it to be... what is it? I've forgotten all of a sudden. Left. Yeah. Did I get this backwards with the x and the y's? I think I might have. Let's go ahead and take a look. The z-axis is going to be crazy right now, so let's go ahead and comment that out. We don't want to get distracted. Alright, so did we get the x-axis correctly? No, we didn't. Look at that. What a sad state of affairs. So sometimes you run into something like this, and it's really easy to start getting your head all twisted up, and you're like, wait, which one is which? You just got to break it down and make sure you understand which faces are drawing incorrectly. In this case, the problem is that we are drawing the faces too far to the side. So we need to... let's go ahead and make sure that each of these faces independently is drawing perfectly. So if we go back into Unity and press play... play, you stupid. Now do we have any... oh look, there they are. They're in the right spot, but they're pointed the wrong direction. No problem, right? If they're pointed the wrong direction, then that means we've got the wrong one of these. And instead of down, we want up, and we get rid of this. Is that all we needed to do for that one? Let's go ahead and hit play again and find out. Scene. Look at that. Perfect. So now let's go ahead and do the other wall. So this needs to be down, which means that this needs to be right and this needs to be up. Now, if you were doing this your first time, you'd probably have to experiment with that. Now, I'm sure that there are other ways to, there's good ways to memorize this and figure it out perfectly, but I want you to really understand that even when it feels complicated, it's not. You just have to isolate which faces you're screwing up and try again. So in this case, now both the X faces work, and we'll move on to the Z faces. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll both work first time, as if I'd been doing this before. So here, we don't need to draw back any further because the back or the front. Instead, what we need to do is draw up. This is probably